Foreign envoys and security experts call for stronger regional alliances and collective defense efforts on the second day of the 2025 Manila Dialogue on the South China Sea. The details in this report by Mobile Journal, Marymon Reyes.
On day 2 of the 2025 Manila Dialogue on the South China Sea, foreign envoys emphasized the need to build strong security alliances and defense capabilities along like-minded states to deter the continuing aggression in the South China Sea. This includes joint military drills, maritime patrols, and other capacity-building activities being done by the Philippines and countries such as Manila's treaty allies, the United States, Canada, Australia, Japan, and New Zealand. While German ambassador to the Philippines, Andres Pafernoschke, commended the country for its transparency and de-escalation efforts, he also sees the possibility of a real confrontation one day, causing more than material damage among states involved if not resolved in due time.
That an further escalating conflict in the South China Sea might set a very bad precedent for other conflict-prone regions in the world. But even more important is the ASEAN chairmanship of the Philippines in this year, which will definitely be a decisive factor to show the world that in this region, under the able chairmanship of our Filipino friends, this dispute can be resolved peacefully.
Even the Republic of Palau, which rests east of the Philippines and only has a population of roughly 20,000, with a maritime police force of 50 to manage 2 patrol vessels for its 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone, sees cooperation with neighboring countries as important.
The South China Sea is just on the other side. It's only a matter of time before what's happening in the South China Sea is going to spread into the East Philippine Sea. And Palau is there. People ask me, what keeps you up at night? China. China keeps me up at night because they're there. They're in Palau.
During one of the dialogue's plenary sessions, Dr. Wu Shikun, founding president of China's National Institute for South China Sea Studies, asserted that the arbitral tribunal ruling in favor of the Philippines had no jurisdiction over the case. This was rebutted by former Supreme Court Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio, mentioning that by China's joining of the UNCLOS, it consented to arbitration, and the tribunal could decide its own jurisdiction.
The problem or substantive issue between China and the Philippines is not about the interpretation on or application of UNCLOS. It is about a sovereignty dispute. The tribunal disregarded China's statement under the Article 298 of UNCLOS. Finally, the composition of the tribunal lacked representativeness, and the arbitrators are nominated by Sujoyoni, the then president of ITLOS, a jurist coming from Japan, which were having a territorial dispute over Diaoyudo with China. I believe the key to peaceful resolving the South China Sea issue lies in correctly understanding regional history.
On the maritime dispute, all the disputant states have signed UNCLOS, they're parties to UNCLOS, so they're bound by UNCLOS. And under UNCLOS, historic rights or claims beyond the territorial sea have been extinguished. Under UNCLOS, under the international law, there is that principle of pacta sunt servanda. You must comply with your obligations under the treaty in good faith.
Nevertheless, it remained crucial among panelists the need to continuously converse and utilize diplomatic actions to condemn the coercive actions being done in the region.
To condemn and probably make Xi Jinping realize that he is isolating himself because he's not adhering to the rule of law, or rather he has a different interpretation of UNCLOS and the rule of law. Sometimes domestic laws becomes their international law, and that is not acceptable in the international community. That is why it is really very, very important that like-minded countries all over the world should join this call. It is the only way, I think, that Xi Jinping will listen, because the world is speaking.
Kapatid Mobile Journal, Marymon Reyes, we are One News.